G'day everyone, Lucas here from the Aussie Gamers Experience, and today I'm taking a look at the ROG Phone 3 from ASUS. The ROG Phone 3 comes packed with way more features that made it into this video, so for more information check the links in the description below. The ROG Phone 3 runs on Android 10 with a Snapdragon 865 Plus 5G processor, coupled with 12 or 16 gigabytes of memory depending on the model that you choose. It's packed with 512 gigabytes of storage, and everything is viewed on a 6.59 inch 2340 by 1080 144Hz screen with a 1 millisecond response time. The screen is an AMOLED display with 10-bit HDR and a 1000 nits peak brightness. There are 3 cameras on the rear, which we'll look at further into this video, and a single front-facing camera, which is 24 megapixels. For sound output, there are 2 stereo front-facing speakers, and for sound input, or the microphones, there are 4 of them, and they're designed around noise reduction and clarity. The ROG Phone 3 is capable of recording up to 8K video at 30 FPS, and supports Wi-Fi 6 and 5G signals depending on your service area. Like the previous model, the ROG Phone 3 supports dual SIM cards, but sadly the ROG Phone 3 misses out on water resistance and also lacks wireless charging. The battery, however, is huge, with a massive 6000 mAh capacity that is sure to get you through the day. Alright, so let's take a little bit more of a look at this phone and see if it's capable of filling your gaming void when you're out and about. Alright, so first things first, I have checked out the ROG Phone 2 previously, and they still have this fancy weird box. This one's a little bit different, but still strange and interesting, and probably something you'd want to keep. It's a pretty neat box that the phone comes in. Now, it's not in there. I've already taken it all out because I have used this phone for a few days already, about a week already. But before we get started, just want to let everyone know that this phone has been given to me on loan from ASUS for the purpose of this review. However, no agreements have been entered into for any sort of favorable praise or anything like that. I will give you my honest opinion on everything that I have received from them. But just also a heads up, I don't get to keep this thing. There's no incentive for me to be nice about this. Oh, except for the fact if it's like actually good. Alright, let's firstly talk about what's in the box. We won't spend too much time on this because it's pretty easy information that you can find. You get a tiny, flimsy, skinny little protector for it, which is actually pretty good. It does protect the corners quite well, and while leaving everything that you want to see exposed. It's actually not bad. It feels pathetic and flimsy, but when it's on, it actually feels like it's a decent amount of protection for the phone. Now, next will be a braided USB-C to USB Type-C cable there, which will plug into the brick that you get as well, which is pretty cool. It's ROG branded. It's a bit chunky for I think it's a 5 volt 3 amp charger. So just a standard mobile phone charger that comes in there as well. That's something that's a one-up on Apple at the moment, because Apple aren't giving you these things. All right, you will also get the cooler, for lack of the actual name. It's a cooler fan that gets attached to the phone and is designed to cool the phone and also give a little bit of a slight breeze to your fingers as well. Now, that's all that is included in the box. Now, I have been given a couple of extra accessories that I'll show off as well. Now, these are optional from what I have seen. This one is pretty neat. Now, this one is a case that uses what I think is some sort of fiber optics, because when you put it on the case and have the settings appropriately set, you will actually get the RGB LED light on the back of the phone will automatically turn on, and then that will feed those colored lights through all of these little dots on the back of the actual case, and it makes it look like the case is actually lit up, and it looks pretty damn cool. I think it's an amazing little thing, yet the case itself is not powered, but it looks like it is. but it just uses that single LED, which is on the back of the ROG Phone 3, and it really looks effective. Also, this was another case that is available as well. It looks like it has some sort of, well, it looks like Japanese writing, like Japanese letters on the back there. And then it also has some, you know, Republic of Gamers written on there as well. This one, I mean, it's very similar to that first one I showed. Actually, let's have a look. It's quite similar. However, it's clearish orange. So I don't know if that fits your taste. I don't actually think that's very nice looking, but it's an option that you can take if you want to. Alright, now let's have a look at the phone itself. Now, I don't think it's as fancy looking on the back of the phone as it was with the ROG Phone 2. Now, I think there was a little bit of backlash with the community saying it was a little bit too garish and out there, but look, reality check for those that aren't aware. Gamers like that stuff. I liked it. I thought the previous phone with a little bit more of the designs on the back looked nicer. This one doesn't look bad, but it does look a little bit more plain. It does have a cool clear window on the side there that sort of shows off a bit of the cooling system. It's like a heat sink that's in there, and it still looks good, but I just think it's a little bit toned down from the previous one, which I think is not a benefit. I don't know. What do you think? Hey, that's a good segue for put your comments in the comment section down below. Click the like button while you're there. I don't know, you're still here. You must obviously like the video, maybe. Okay, now let's talk about how this cooler thing works. Now, the phone will actually have 3 levels of operation when it comes to gaming. Now, when you're not gaming and not using the phone, it'll just be in mode 1. And then you can option to then bump it up to mode 2, which gives you a slight overclock on the clock for the CPU and will increase performance for when you're playing a game. Now, I have played a game of Call of Duty Mobile whilst on the second boost mode without using the cooler. And I can very much tell you that this thing gets very, very hot. Now, it wasn't hot to the point where I thought it was going to burn my fingers, but it was hot to the point where it was extremely uncomfortable. Thankfully, I was using a Xbox One controller, so I didn't have to hold it. But when I picked it up to try it out, damn, that was hot. So, yeah, look, this is very recommended. Now, the third mode for the overclocking can only be accessed when this cooler is attached. So I would imagine that is because it is the highest of the overclocks, and it will generate the most heat. And to stop it from overheating and either thermal throttling the CPU or doing harm to it, it only allows you to use it when coupled with the actual cooler. Now, the cooler's not overly loud. It's not something that you can hear from playing distance. If you put it up to your ear, yeah, I can hear that. I don't know if the microphone can even pick that up. Maybe. But yeah, I can hear that when it's up against my ear. But from this far away, like just out in front of me, how I would play, I can't really hear it. And this is just an ambient room that I'm in. So it's quite bearable. It's fine. I don't have an issue with it. It does have these dynamic wallpapers there you can see. So if I go in to, it's called X mode. I'm calling it this overclocking mode. It's called X mode. If you enable the X mode and then go back to the wallpaper, it automatically changes. So it's a good little indicator. Not only does it look cool, it's a good indicator for letting you know that you're in that mode. So if you don't want to be, you can turn it off. Another little feature as well that I only just realized, and I come to think of it, I did review the ROG Phone 2. And I don't know if it wasn't in the ROG Phone 2 and I just didn't notice it, or if this is new to the ROG Phone 3. But this little thing slides out and provides a stand for the phone. I had no idea about that, so it can stand up on its own. So while you're playing with a controller, it can sit there. And I don't really like to admit that I didn't notice that for the first few times, the first couple of days that I was playing it. I was struggling getting the thing to stand up, and it was going to be one of my down points for this phone. If they just had built in a stand, it would be so... Oh, okay, they have built in a stand. All right, we won't dock it for that then. All right, let's talk about the screen. Now, the screen is very good. I like it. I think it's nice, it's bright, it's crisp, it's clear, it works, it's smooth. It's a 144 Hz screen as well, so as long as you're playing a game that supports it, which I've been unable to actually find, you can play your games in 144 Hz as long as, once again, the phone is capable of producing that many frames. Mostly, you'll notice it's just super smooth when you are scrolling through websites or through your menus on the phone. The 144 Hz comes in play there. However, the 144 Hz is going to chew the most amount of battery, so personally, for day-to-day use, I would keep it at 60 Hz or 60 frames per second, whichever way you want to call it or whatever. But if you are looking for that extra gaming sort of sensation and you have a game that will support it, like I said, I didn't find any that did, or either that or the phone wasn't capable of punching out 144 frames, you can put it on for gaming. Now, using the ROG Phone 3 as a phone, as an everyday thing, I used it for a few days, and this thing has a beast of a battery. It's 6,000 milliamp hours, which I think is about 2,000 milliamp hours more than what the iPhone 11 Pro Max has. I'm pretty sure that's a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in that one. So this will last you easily the whole day, with playing games and using it for general use. If you're not playing games on it and it's generally just something you'll take some calls on, send some text messages, look at some Twitter, maybe some Facebook and Instagram or whatever, I would say you're probably going to get 2 days easy out of this phone, where you'll probably want to charge it at the end of the second day. Pretty similar to the ROG Phone 2. With battery life there, so pretty good on battery. It's a big, beefy. It's probably because of the size of the thing. It's actually quite large, so they've fit a massive battery in there. And the reason why they do that is because this is a gaming phone. Gaming 3D applications on a mobile phone is going to chew up a lot of battery life, so there's a big battery in there. That's a big plus. Okay, now comes the bad. There's a lot of great things about this phone and not a lot of things that I can fault it for. However, there is a massive problem that I have run into with this phone. I have done some troubleshooting. I've gone through all the settings. I've done some Googling. I can't find anything else out there that can help me. But for some reason, and there are reasons that probably can answer this. But when you plug in the cooler, so you want to play a game of Call of Duty Mobile. I play a lot of Call of Duty Mobile. I love it because I just destroy noobs. Alright, so it will automatically turn off the microphones, right? And that's because of the fan. Because the fan can make a whirring noise. It's right on the phone. It's a slight vibration. So it tells you, do you want to automatically disable the microphones? Say yes or no, whatever. Alright, but the problem is, I want to play Call of Duty Mobile wearing headphones because I will be chatting with some friends using Discord. Now, the problem I ran into, when you plug in the cooler, it gives you a USB port on the bottom, and it also gives you a headphone jack. That's a great idea because the phone itself doesn't have a headphone jack, but it will give you that port when you use the cooler. You also have a USB-C on the bottom, which is great because if you're playing it with that stand, you can plug your power into the side, or you can plug in the USB to headphone jack adapter to plug your headphones in there. The only thing is, no matter what setting I tweaked, when I plugged my headphones in, the microphone was not active on the headphones. It just muted it. It would not work at all. At first I thought it may be a compatibility issue with the headphones that I'm using, but I tried a couple of different types. I knew it was ridiculous, but I even tried a pair of Apple iPhone headphones, and I know they've got reverse polarity and all that sort of garbage, and it was probably not going to work, but I thought I'd try it anyway, just on the off chance that this thing was made for that. I don't know. But I could not get the microphone to work while I was chatting. Now, I do understand that it does turn off the microphone for the sake of the fan noise, but I would think that that would only be the phone's microphones. But when I'm plugging in a pair of headphones, I'm well away from the phone. The fans are quiet. Then there's no need to mute my headphones there. Is it the fact that if you run this phone in the overclocking mode, X mode 3, that you can't use microphones at all? So for that, I had to then downgrade to X mode 2 and disconnect the cooler just so I could play Call of Duty Mobile with my friend, as well as using a pair of headphones. I didn't like that, but it's what I had to do. Now for the performance. Now, I did try the X Mode 2, and I found it to be very underwhelming. It didn't run at the full 60 frames per second in Call of Duty Mobile, and as I said before, the phone got extremely hot. So it wasn't great. It actually, when I was doing that, I eventually ended up switching back to my iPhone just to play it on that one because it was easier to use and I could chat with my friends using headphones. Now, playing it in X Mode 3 with the cooler connected, as long as you're not chatting with anybody, I don't know if this is a problem that is just for this phone or if it's across the board, but for X Mode 3, the game ran fine. It ran great. Did it run better than my iPhone 11 Pro Max? No. No, I don't think it did. I think it ran just as good as, but it ran well. Look, when it comes down to it, this is a good gaming phone. There are a couple of quirks which might be user error, but I have tried so hard to work out why it is doing that. And I use technology all the time, so I would like to think that I'm a little bit above the average user of technology. If I can't work it out, then it's a problem. Either A, it's a broken problem that needs to be fixed, or 2, it's a problem that's there because it's not user-friendly enough to work out how to get around it. So either way, I say it's a problem. Okay, now let's talk about the cameras. Now, look, it is a gaming phone. Cameras aren't the most important thing here, but at the end of the day, it's still a smartphone and people are going to use this for everyday use. And that has become one of the things that we use every day on our phones, whether it be because we want to take a photo of something that's beautiful or that is completely opposite, super ugly, you want to share with your friends over, I don't know, some vomit or something, I don't know. Or even it's just a convenience thing, you know, I've got to remember that number plate, or I've got to write down that thing over there. Instead of doing it, just a quick photo, done, I'm out of here. You don't have to find a pen or a paper. Now, with these ones, there's 3 cameras on the back. There's a wide, ultra wide, and a like a macro camera, and then there is also a front-facing camera. Now, what I'll do now, I'm going to show you a couple of examples, and I'm not going to say whether they're, you know, great, bad, or whatever, but you're going to make your opinion on what you can see. All right, so because that's the most important thing. All right, let's do that. Alright, there you go. That is the cameras and how they work, and let me know what you think. Was it better than my iPhone 11 Pro Max, or was it worse, or was it pretty much the same? You be the judge. Now, also just finishing up here, we haven't got too much more to do. It does have a in-screen fingerprint sensor, and it also uses some sort of face recognition to unlock the phone as well. You can use them both, you can use one or the other, whatever you like. You can always also do the typical Android pattern or PIN number. Oh, I almost forgot, I want to do a test for the sound as well. I want to see what these two front-facing stereo speakers sound like as well. So I'm going to bring up some royalty-free music. I hope this one's still royalty-free. It's called Press Start from MDK. The link will be in the description below. Let's see how it sounds. Alright, yeah, that sounds okay. It's got some volume to it. Let's try something else with a bit more bass. No bass so far. Okay, it sounds okay. Obviously not something you want to be listening to music on. It sounds good, but yeah, there's nothing mind-blowing about that. That'll do for the sound test, I reckon. Good speakers, but they're nothing amazing. But for me, that wouldn't really matter too much. I don't expect amazing sound from an actual phone. There's not enough room inside the bodies of these things to have the air to blow awesome sound out to our ears. So I would recommend using headphones. However, with this phone, that doesn't work. I don't know. If somebody out there has this phone and has experienced something different with those headphones issues with the microphone, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys, but that is pretty much all that I have to share with you today about the ROG Phone 3. If you've got anything specific you want to say, go and put them in the comment section down below. If you stuck around for this whole video and found something useful in it, please give the video a like. You can give it a thumbs down as well if you must. I don't mind. Either way, it's activity on my channel. Thank you very much for checking us out. If you want, hit subscribe. And, well, it is nearly Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all you out there as well, and Merry whatever holiday that you celebrate, if it's not Christmas or whatever, I don't know. That's all from me. As always, my name is Lucas, and I am from the Aussie Gamers Experience, and until next time, I will see ya!